Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We're reading a little bit from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 5, text number 4. Sarva avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tvarditya Deha Shri Balaram. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. Eke Swarupdane Bina Matrakaya Ajakaya Vyuha Krishna Lidra Sahaya. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Sei Krishna Navadvipe Shri Chaitanya Chandra Sei Balaram Sangha Shri Nityananda. The original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Shankar Sanakarana Toyasai Garbhadashai Chapayobdishai Shesas Yasmakala Chanitya Nandakya Rama Saranam Mamastu. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarsan, Shesanak, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, an ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. Shri Balaram Gosai Mula Shankarsan Pancharupadare Karena Krishna Sevan. Lord Balaram is the original Sankarsan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. So we see that these 5 forms are Mahasankarsan, Karnadaksai Vishnu, Garbhadaksai Vishnu, Kshirodaksai Vishnu, and Shesha. So in this way, Lord Balaram, Lord Nityananda Balaram, is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is known as Sevak Bhagavan. Krishna, or Lord Chaitanya, he is known as Sevya Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord that is served. And then Lord Nityananda is Sevak Bhagavan. He serves the Lord in any possible way, although he is the Supreme Lord also, but now in the mood of a Sevak. It is said that therefore he is Nityananda. It is said that he is experiencing greater happiness than Lord Chaitanya. That Lord Nityananda is always absorbed in the service of Lord Chaitanya. And as a result, he becomes intoxicated with great ecstasy. And because of this intoxication, he cannot discriminate. He cannot discriminate who is suitable to receive the mercy or who is not. And therefore, he just gives it to anyone and everyone. So in this way, Lord Nityananda Balaram is the original spiritual master, Adi Guru. He is the one who shows by his service, by serving the Supreme Lord in every possible way. Lord Nityananda is the spiritual master of the 3 worlds. But not only by doing so, but by somehow or other reaching out to anyone and everyone, regardless of their qualification, and to be merciful to anyone. Nityananda is even merciful to the greatest offenders, merciful to Jagai and Madai. It is said in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, even merciful to Buddhists, because when Lord Nityananda met Buddhists in the Himalayan range, he approached them and they did not respond. Then Nityananda kicked them in the face, and in this way was very merciful to them, right? By touching them with his lotus feet, although I'm not sure if they understood what had just transpired. Anyway, such is the nature of Lord Nityananda. He is going beyond the rules. He is known as an avadut. He is known as one who is not just behaving like everyone else. So I wanted to, after these few words on the tattva of Lord Nityananda, I wanted to speak a little bit about Lord Nityananda as a preacher, because that's the aspect, that is what has really saved us. It is somehow or other by the mercy of Lord Nityananda that this Krishna consciousness came to us, and of course his representative, Srila Prabhupada. So I'll read from the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Taladwaja ikarate sansarera shara asya rahila rata amara duraya. Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Lila 3:142. Last night I saw in my dream a chariot marked with the flag of a palm tree. In the chariot of Baladev himself, there was a great Mahapurusha, a great personality. And that personality arrived. And in this way, Lord Baladev, in the form of Nityananda, appeared in Navadvip. He was hiding in the house of Nandanacharya. He was not immediately ready to make himself known because he wanted to see what Lord Chaitanya would do. But Lord Chaitanya had dreamt and had seen that he had appeared. And he told the devotees to go look for him. And the devotees looked everywhere and couldn't find him. But finally, he told him to look in the house of Nandanacharya. And then Nityananda was brought before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was a great embrace between the two transcendental brothers. Although they appeared in different places, although they did not appear from the same mother, still they were transcendental brothers, eternally so. In this way, we look at the eternal nature of the two lords and then accept them as brothers. So Mahaprabhu, after Nityananda started, after he came to Navadvip, that's when Lord Chaitanya decided to start the preaching. And he arranged that Nityananda would be the first one to start preaching. Jagatirpita Krishna yena bhajya bapa pitridrohi patakira janma janma tapa. Krishna is the father of the entire universe. And anyone who doesn't respect his father is rebellious and sinful and therefore subjected to miseries, birth and death. Bola Krishna Bhaja Krishna Lai Krishna Nam Krishna Mata Krishna Pita Krishna Dana Pram. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna and sing the glories of Krishna. Krishna is your mother. Krishna is your father. Krishna is the wealth of your life. Suna suna Nityananda suna Haridas sarvata prachara amaragya kara prakash prati gare gare giye kare bika bolo Krishna bhaja Krishna kara shiksha iha vayare na boliba baliba dine avasana asi amar kahiba tomar karila biksha ye na baliba tabe ami chakra hasta shabra katiba. Listen Nityananda, listen Haridas. Go door to door and tell everyone they will practice Krishna consciousness. Tell them Krishna consciousness is the supreme goal of life. Tell them Bolo Krishna Bhaja Krishna Kora Krishna Shika. Chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Serve Lord Krishna and learn the teachings of Krishna, of Sri Krishna. You will come back to me daily in the evening. Nothing else is necessary for you to do. And whoever will take it with a clean heart, I shall be the slave of them. And whoever will be not surrendering, I shall punish them. In this way, Mahaprabhu gave orders to Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur and started his preaching program. So this preaching program is started in Navadvip and spread from Navadvip over the entire world. And wherever Lord Nityananda, wherever preaching is going on, Lord Nityananda is personally present. Srila Prabhupada gives this description in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 17, how he says wherever the Sunday feast is going on, and wherever there is kirtan and Krishna Katha and Krishna Prasadam, there Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are personally present. So that is we should understand. Whenever we speak about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda, we're not speaking about pastimes that took place 500 years ago. It began 500 years ago, but it didn't end. It continues now. So now we are seeing these pastimes happening. Now, in front of our eyes, we're seeing the miracles of Nityananda. We're seeing how Krishna consciousness reaches people anywhere and everywhere. I go to South Africa and we go to squatter camps where people live in tiny little huts along the railway track. And somehow or other, we come with prasad. Oh, yes, they're excited. They're excited. But then we start the kirtan and they get more excited. And then one devotee does a step, 1, 2, forward, one leg up. And 400 African kids do the step. 2 steps forward, 1 up. And they all know how to do it. Right? We chant the holy name. They all get it straight away. The full mantra. They just get into it. And totally absorbed in kirtan. And we know there's no doubt. Nityananda's mercy has reached. Now they will change. They're chanting. Now everything will become auspicious. The world will change. Pritivityachi yatanagara digram sarvata prachara hoebe moranam. Nityananda was saying, actually this verse, Pritivityacha, is spoken by Lord Nityananda. So everywhere, this mercy is spreading. Of course, on their first preaching mission, Nityananda went out and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chose Haridas Thakur as his Sankirtan partner. Now, Haridas Thakur was considerably older at the time. Haridas is about some 35 years older than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Nityananda maybe 15 years older than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, Haridas was older at the time, about 60 or whatever, something like that. And he was chosen to go out with Nityananda on a Sankirtan mission. And then somehow or other, Nityananda went for these drunks, right? He just went up to them and told them to chant, but they became really wild and aggressive, and both of them were running. Nityananda and Haridas were running. And Haridas is saying, this Avaduta every time gets me in trouble. Every time he gets me in trouble. We go to some village and he will just start to drink milk from some cow. Right? And then the villagers get angry and they chase us. And he's very fast. And they catch me. And then I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And now again, today will be the end. Today we will be killed by this madman, now being chased by Jagai and Madai and running for their lives. But somehow or other the two brothers were drunk and they managed to slip away. They reported that evening to Lord Chaitanya, as was discussed. And that evening, Haridas Thakur was complaining and said, it's too much to be out with this madman. It's too much. But Advaita Acharya said, yes, no, very soon we will see the amazing result of this activity of this madman. And in that way, Advaita Acharya predicted how Jagai and Madai would become transformed. Jagai and Madai, of course, were Brahmadaityas. They were from a Brahmin family but had become big demons. And they were like so fallen, what can be said? The list of sins that is described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's inconceivable. It is said that the servants of Chitragupta, who is the scribe of Yamaraj, they were like running up and down, different messengers bringing news of the sinful activities, and they were falling by the wayside. Chitragupta, there were so many records, he didn't know where to keep them. And then so many sinful activities, it's like how to keep all these files. I mean, it was like this, so difficult. So in this way, Jagai and Madai were the greatest sinners in their time. But somehow or other, Nityananda delivered them. We know that Nityananda went back and stood there and asked them to chant Hare Krishna. And it was Jagai who hit Lord Nityananda with the pot, the clay pot which broke on the head of Nityananda and drew blood. Then Jagai wanted to hit him for a second time. It was then that Madai interfered and said, no. They sing very nicely because they had many times heard the kirtan. So actually, although they were sinful, they had already heard the kirtan, and as a result of hearing the kirtan, they had already been purified. It had already penetrated into the heart of Madai. And therefore Madai said, no, don't do this, no. And then the two brothers were fighting. Anyway, Nityananda was bleeding, and it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who appeared right there at the spot. Now, in his mood of the Supreme Lord, Sudarshan Chakra raised, ready to kill. And it was Nityananda who then interfered and then stopped Mahaprabhu. Anyway, Madai was forgiven by Lord Chaitanya because Nityananda then said, he saved me. Then Lord Chaitanya embraced him. His body became blackish and he looked like Krishna for a moment. And then Madai was delivered. Jagai was told he had to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. he got the mercy of Lord Nityananda, who embraced him and forgave him. Still, it continues, and it's explained that although he was forgiven, Jagai was still not peaceful. And later, he came back to Lord Nityananda and he had no peace of mind. He said, I'm a great offender. And then Lord Nityananda, he said, my dear Jagai, from my perspective, you and your brother, you are just like children. Just like children. So when a child hits the father, does the father take that very serious? He said, so I don't take it very serious. It's just like... But Jagai was still not satisfied. And Jagai said, no, but I have committed so much Vaishnava aparat. I've offended so many Vaishnavas. But how can I ask them for forgiveness when I don't even know which ones I have offended? I can't remember. I've offended so many. So then Lord Nityananda instructed Jagai and Madai to make a bathing ghat on the Ganga and serve all the pilgrims that would come to take their baths there and sweep the Ganga, sweep the ghat, keep it clean, and in this way render service to the Vaishnavas. And that would purify them from all the offenses they couldn't remember, committed to so many Vaishnavas. So in this way we are seeing. Srila Prabhupada is describing that he said, yes, in this way Lord Nityananda is more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. More merciful. But still more merciful is the devotee of Nityananda. He said, because, he said, at that time, these two personalities, Jagai and Madai, they were the exception. They were the exception. Somehow or other, they were looting, they were killing, they were engaging in arson, they were rape, anything they would do. But somehow or other, they were the exception. But Prabhupada said, in this age of Kali, the entire population has become like Jagai and Madai. And now the Jagais and Madais are being delivered. Some are openly Jagai and Madai, and some do it behind closed curtains. But everywhere, the sinful activities are so deeply rooted and said. But the devotee is delivering all those Jagais and Madais. Speaking, that devotee is, of course, especially Srila Prabhupada, who delivered so many Jagais and Madais, and somehow or other made them devotees. So on this day, we can remember it is a day to repay our debt, to somehow or other contemplate on repaying our debt. How to repay that debt? Yes, first thing was to never sin again. That was the first instruction Jagai Madai received. But then beyond that, to somehow or other pass on that mercy. Pass on that mercy to whomever we meet. So in this way, that is the only way to repay that debt. Lord Nityananda was preaching very ecstatically. When in Jagannath Puri and Lord Chaitanya instructed Lord Nityananda to go to preach in Bengal, he took a party with them and went to Bengal, but it was difficult to get there because they were so ecstatic that each time they forgot to turn in the direction of Navadvip. Each time they got lost due to the ecstasy. Such an ecstatic kirtan the whole way that they forgot themselves. It took a long time to reach. And then Nityananda preached particularly through kirtan. It was that kirtan that spread very widely. Nityananda had some followers Some wonderful followers who were greatly dedicated to him. Abhiram Thakur, and gosh, I forget the name now. Who remembers the one who gave all the jewels, the goldsmith, Suvarna Varna. Ah, come on. Udaharan Datta. Udaharan Datta. Udaharan Datta, he supplied Nityananda with all these jewels. And Udaharan Datta is worth mentioning because Srila Prabhupada explained that when he was young, that his family would every year go to attend a mela in the birthplace of Udaharan Datta, which is being celebrated there. And he said his family, and along with his family, he would participate every year because Srila Prabhupada said that his family lineage came from Udaharan Datta, came in that family lineage. So we should take ownership of this festival of Udaharan Datta. Since Prabhupada went to ISKCON, should go there every year with a great delegation and take ownership of this festival, because it was Prabhupada's festival. Anyway, Lord Nityananda performed great kirtans in Bengal, and it is described how there were these young boys and they were just chanting and dancing for 30 days without any food. And it said some of them became so ecstatic that they ripped trees out of the ground. Trees out of the ground. Also old men were dancing in the branches of the trees. So in this way, Lord Nityananda's network of kirtan spread all over Bengal and swept up people to a stage of ecstasy, and so many became his followers. Now, just after the appearance day of Lord Nityananda, there will also be, is it the appearance day, Dinabandha, of Narottam Das Thakur? Yeah. Also be the appearance day of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. And Narottam Das Thakur, he finished the work of Nityananda by bringing the books of the Goswamis to Bengal. And then, along with Srinivas and Shamananda, and then those books, they were hand copied, and so many manuscripts were copied. And then on the first Gaur Purnim festival in Kaituri, all these manuscripts were distributed. And in this way, the knowledge of the Goswamis came together with the mercy, with the unlimited mercy of Nityananda, who reached out to all and who had enthused so many people. But there were all kinds of followers amongst the followers of Nityananda. The son of Nityananda, Virabhadra, he was deciding who was in and who was out. He declared a whole branch of Vaishnavas, Apasampradaya, and some others in and out. Virabhadra tried to create some order in Nityananda's ecstatic movement. There were all kinds of people. But when Narottam came, along with Srinivas, at that time in Kaituri, and the works of the Goswamis came, then everything became complete. It became complete. In this way, with the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were spreading Krishna consciousness. And in this way, this is our movement. Widely spreading Krishna consciousness anywhere, to anyone and everyone. Isn't that what Srila Prabhupada did in his Matchless Gift storefront in New York? He just gave it to anyone and everyone, not considering where they were at or this or that. But then gradually introducing the works of the Goswamis, 6 Goswamis, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, introducing Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, which is like the handbook of devotional service. It says exactly how to practice devotional service. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is gradually revealing love of God. And in this way, the Sankirtan mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is spreading. Nityananda in front. Wherever we go, very merciful. Anybody, doesn't matter who they are, give them the mercy. Doesn't matter. Reach out to all. No need to talk about standards or this or that. One year I was in Africa and during a Ratha Yatra, and one senior sannyasi from Gaudiya Math came, and they asked me to look after him a little, so I did. And he said, oh, it's so difficult to preach in the West, so difficult, because people are not following any rules and regulations. It's true. That is true. It is very difficult to make people follow rules and regulations. I said to him, yes, that may be true. I said, but look at these devotees. And we saw the African devotees. And they were absorbed in the kirtan. They were dancing. They were dancing from the word go. And they continued to dance, right? Throughout. I said, look at them. They are completely absorbed. They are just chanting, and there's nothing else on their mind. In this way, they are lifetimes ahead of us. In this way. And then others can make another contribution. In this way, we see how we are representatives. And some are reaching out to the most fallen and are most liberal. And others are bringing in standards and are strict. And all these things are combining into the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. And Srila Prabhupada embodied it all and gave us the complete process. In this way, we are part of this movement, spreading the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And by doing so, that mercy will fructify within us, because, you see, to practice Krishna consciousness on the strength of rules and regulations is difficult for anybody, east or west. Nobody is best, right? Who can say that they are good in following rules and regulations? So difficult, so difficult. So many times people write to me and say, I have no taste for chanting. I say, look, it doesn't matter whether you have taste or not, just be faithful and you'll get the mercy. Say, yeah, but still not satisfied with that answer. Then, somehow or other, our only hope is to follow in the footsteps of Nityananda and to give out this mercy to others. Because by doing so, the little bit of juice, the little bit of ecstasy that was there in our heart will increase. And when that increases, then we can do it. When suddenly there is some happiness. Therefore, it is Nityananda who is the carrier of happiness in our movement, in our spiritual life. Therefore, those who don't preach, no hope. Sorry. If you don't preach, there's no hope. No hope. I'm sorry. I have no faith that it will be possible to maintain these spiritual standards without becoming an agent of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Only by being an agent of the mercy of Lord Nityananda can we actually follow this process. There is no other way. Thank you very much. Shri Nityananda Mahajana Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Trayodasi Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande.
A shelter where one will get the soothing moonlight, not only of one, but of millions of moons. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. If one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Anyone who has not established his relationship with Lord Nityananda Prabhu is understood to have spoiled his valuable human birth. Such a human being is actually an uncontrolled animal, because he never uttered the holy name of Nityananda. He has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and family tradition do to help him? Being maddened after false prestige and identification with the body, one is thinking, oh, what is Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. The result is that he is accepting something false to be the truth. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When he is merciful toward you, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Nityananda are not illusion, they are a fact. One who engages in the transcendental loving service of Nityananda is also transcendental. Always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This Narottam Das is very unhappy. Therefore, I am praying to Lord Nityananda to make me happy. My dear Lord, please keep me close to your lotus feet. Shri Nityananda Ram Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. So today is a very special day, appearance day of Lord Nityananda. So Prabhupada speaks of Balaram, that he is the source of power and strength, and not the kind of strength you get from the gym or lifting the barbells all day, but spiritual strength. And without spiritual strength, without potency, one is very difficult to advance in spiritual life. So that same Lord Balaram, partial manifestation, you can imagine Mahavishnu, all the universes emanating, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, becomes the Lord in the heart of every living being and every atom of the universe, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, knows everything we're doing, not doing. So that very same Lord, just as Krishna Balaram appeared as Chaitanya and Nitai. So Balaram came as Lord Nityananda. We heard something of their meeting when he was staying at the house of Nandanacharya and the Lords met. So sometimes difficult to comprehend or grasp how the Lord can take a human form or appear to be an ordinary person. Trying to wrap our head around the idea of God coming and performing human-like activities. How is this possible? Because the mind has that nature, doubting. Maybe these are all just stories made up. But here we're hearing from Narottam Das Thakur in the translation that Lord Nityananda's lotus feet are for real. They give real shelter. Just like one is working in the field all day, the sun is beating down, he's very frustrated and hot and fatigued. Then when the sun goes down and the moon rises, and that moonshine gives one relief, you're feeling, finally, the intense sun, the burden, my labor and frustration and anxiety, the moon is giving soothing pleasure. So it's not just one moon or 100 moons or 100,000 moons, but 1,000,000 moons, a crore. People thinking, want to become crore-patis, think about the crores in a monetary way. But imagine the blessings or the shade or the nectar of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda is available for one who takes shelter. You can just imagine the comfort and great happiness. So the Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, he's not unhappy, he's not dukhi, sad. But he's saying, I am sad. So everyone in this world, they're sad because they're attached to the family. Arjuna was sad because he didn't want to fight with relatives. We're all sad and unhappy because we have this material body with so much pain and anxiety, frustrated desires, and not having the spiritual strength to have a taste for the holy name and participate in the chanting of the holy name and going out on Sankirtan, challenging, because Sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mission, to spread this love for Krishna, this message of Godhead, to free the suffering conditioned souls. This is the Sankirtan, congregational chanting, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parashridam Jagnai Sankirtan Prayarya Janti Hi Sumeda Saha. So Srila Prabhupada, he gave the Sankirtan mission. And he gave a really good way of engaging everyone, that all of you engage in the Sankirtan mission. We should do everything. You worship the deities, you cook, you clean. But also we should preach, go out, give mercy, because we meet so many challenges, but by the blessing of Lord Nityananda, you get strength, spiritual strength. You feel also empowered. People see the Sankirtan devotees and you come with me in my company. You're so, they're very mystified by what kind of potency or what kind of effulgence is emanating from these people. Prabhupada made a comment of one priest, said, all your followers are so effulgent. They were our boys and girls, but now they've taken up this process and they've become so transformed. So this is the transforming potency of Sri Nityananda Ram, that he is giving blessings and his followers are even more merciful. His Guru Parampara becomes more and more potent. So all of us should be representative of Nityananda, Chaitanya. Then our unhappiness and our sadness, that will go. Because without following this process of Krishna consciousness, there is no life. It's all just basically, we're like uncontrolled animals. Everyone's a dog. we're serving bad masters. The dog wants a good master, take care of him nicely, so always begging here and there. Let me be your employee. Here's my resume. I'm a very good dog. I can serve you nicely. So it says, let us become the dog of Lord Nityananda. This dog, very faithful, very obedient. My wife often says, I like the animals better than human beings. because they actually have a very unique flavor. Man's best friend, the dog. So they have certain qualities of loyalty, and they see the master, they wag their tail, they're very happy. So become happy to be the servant of Lord Nityananda. Be happy to be in the company of those who are actually appreciating this message of Krishna consciousness that Srila Prabhupada has given us. So this kirtan, this Sankirtan, if we can increase, and it is increasing, Prabhupada often say, so many books, Bhagavad-Gitas are going out in London, 100,000 books are going out, and all over the world how this mission is spreading. Even during the marathon, we have any numbers? How many books were distributed? So many, right? You can imagine Bhagavad-Gita is ending up in the hands of so many of the conditioned souls. And although one may be taking birth in a good family or have so many degrees, I have, PhD or many MBAs, and these are not qualifications for spiritual development. Prabhupada was giving lectures stating how Vyasadeva, in a very simple hut, wrote Srimad Bhagavatam and the Puranas, Mahabharata. And now, what is the education? Education, how to become polished animals, how to try to enjoy the temporary life, family, and material opulence. But everyone grows old, gets diseased, and the suffering increases, the fear, isn't it? Fearing, eating, sleeping, fearing, Prabhupada often says, because the fear is there, fear of losing our existence, but we're eternal beings. So we should utilize this human body, this vehicle, for awakening that spiritual life. In what better place? Many places, you can be in many places in the world, but for those who are fortunate to have the good fortune to be here in Sri Vrindavan Dham, to see the most beautiful deity worship, when you greet the deities every day and sing to them, Nitai, Gauranga, Krishna Balaram, Shishi Radha Shyama Sundar. Want to develop a relationship with Radha Shyama Sundar Lita Vishaka? Need the mercy and spiritual strength of Lord Nityananda. So we don't jump over, think that we can become immediately gopis and gopas, but we should follow the teachings of the great acharyas. We should follow the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. We should serve Nitai Gauranga. And that service comes to us in many ways. Sometimes it appears that, you can't stop my service. But service mentality means I'm ready to do whatever is required. I'm a soul surrendered. You want me to wash pots? I'll wash pots. Clean the temple? I'll clean the temple. Cook? Take out the garbage? I remember in Miami, we had a sewage problem, and one devotee, Tattvadarshi and I, we had to dig up all the septics and had wheelbarrows full of the nectar and taking it out. And you think, I didn't join up this Krishna consciousness movement to be wheelbarrowing, shit to the bushes. You might think I'm better than that, or doing dishes. It's not a man's job. Who wants to do pots? So this service mentality that means that I'm ready to do whatever is required for this Krishna, for Srila Prabhupada, who is Lord Nityananda's representative. So on days like this, auspicious days of the appearance of the Lord, we should renew our enthusiasm, our appreciation that the Lord is giving mercy and will give more and more mercy according to how we surrender. Yeyata mang prapajate tangs tataiva bhajamyaham. As they surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. So we have to be eager to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And be eager to be corrected. Sometimes we make mistakes. Often we make mistakes, maybe intentionally or not intentionally, and we may have to suffer consequences because, we live in a society, we all live together, and sometimes we don't all agree on everything, isn't it? Sometimes we have disagreements. But still, we have to be compassionate, try to be loving, but also reasonable. Srila Prabhupada gave so much mercy, so much compassion and forgiveness, but at the same time, there are rules and regulations, and we should follow. Maybe some stories, okay, once, twice, 3 times, but then, okay, it's enough. It must take, now we have to, maybe this person is not fit to be in the society of devotees. But we want to appreciate one another's services and encourage one another to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. So I'm the middleman here. We're trying to figure out what is the procedure here. Kadamba Kanamar says, I'm easy, I can do anything. Begin, middle, evening. And so I just thought I would speak a few words and we can hear some nectarine from our Dinabandhu Prabhu. So give up this dukkhi, this unhappiness. Become sukhi by the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. I was with Bibi Govinda Maharaj, and we were discussing a few things just a couple days back. And he was saying, just read the Bhagavatam, every day. Hear it, hear Krishna's pastimes, and chant your rounds carefully. If you're chanting your rounds carefully, hearing Bhagavatam, stay in the association of devotees, then all the troubles that are plaguing us will fall away, be dissolved. Sometimes, you might have some ailment, some stone, and they take medicine, and gradually it's dissolving, then it flows clearly and no more pain. So now maybe some difficulty, some pain, some awkward situations we have to tolerate sometimes, the things that we don't want to tolerate, but we tolerate for the sake of our own Krishna consciousness and for the opportunity to show an example for others. I know when many of us joined, we were sleeping on the floor, sometimes 15, 20 per little room, 2 or 3 toilets and showers for 60, 70 people to get ready for Mangal Artik. It's like one is in the shower, one is doing his business, and one is brushing teeth, and the other one is getting dressed. Well, it's like a whole process. You think, how I can tolerate that? I can't, I can't live that way. That may be, but we felt happy to sleep in a van, or take a shower with a cold jug of water on a flowing river, and out working for the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours a day. You're working the Sankirtan mission. So Krishna appreciates when a parent sees the child is endeavoring to do the right thing and working, so the parent feels love and happiness and wants to reciprocate. So Krishna is not impersonal. Lord Nityananda is not impersonal. He's the supreme person. And he will give shade and shelter. He'll give protection. And ultimately, he'll drag us, bring us back home, back to Godhead. One is chanting, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundalita Vishaka Devi ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Panchagora Prabhu ki.
So this is a very beautiful verse. Actually, it's the first verse of Chaitanya Bhagavat, glorifying Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Ajana lambita bujo kanaka vadato sankirtanai kapitaro kamalaya taksho Visvambaro Dvijabaro Jugadharma Palo Bande Jagatta Priyakaro Karuna Avataro Ajana Lambita Bujo. Now in Sanskrit, we not only have singular and plural, but we have dual. As most languages, we have singular, just like this is my bag. If we have two bags, then we have, then it's bags. But in Sanskrit, if you will talk about two things, then there's a special ending for that word also. Especially if that word ends in an A, then it becomes O. A-U, O. So here it says, Ajana lambita bujo. Janu means this knee, so they're buj. We know they're buj. Buj means limb. Ajana lambita bujo. All the way up to the knee. Bujo. So we could take it that they're because we have two arms, that it's talking about two arms. But from the context of the whole verse, we understand it's talking about two personalities. Both of these personalities, Ajana lambita bujo, their arms stretch up to the knees. This is considered a very, very auspicious symptom when we have hands that stretch up to the knees, arms that stretch up to the knees. Ajana lambita bujo, kanaka vadato. Kanaka means gold. Just like if you go to Ayodhya, where Lord Nityananda went also on pilgrimage, you'll find one place is there, Kanak Bhavan, the golden palace. And there you will see Goddess Sita and Lord Ram sitting. Always we see Ram and Sita, Lakshman all standing, holding their bows. But this is the only place you'll see Goddess Sita and Lord Ram there, sitting position. It's called Kanak Bhavan. Kanak means gold. Ajana lampito kanaka avadato. Avadato means their luster is golden. And this is kanaka avadato, both of them. Not just Lord Chaitanya is golden, Lord Nityananda, he's also golden. Both of them. Ajana lambita bujo kanaka avadato. Sankirtanai kapitaro. He doesn't say pita, he says pitaro. Both of them are the fathers of the Sankirtan movement. Just like Kadambakanand Maharaj describes so nicely how they started the Sankirtan movement. So both of them are the fathers of the Sankirtan movement. We sing that song sometime. Eshikadiya sabnadiya firchinechi gornitai. Eshikadiya sabnadiya firchinechi gornitai. Radha Krishna bol bol bolore sobai. Radha Krishna bol bol bolore sobai. Radha Krishna bol bol bolore sobai. These two brothers were wandering around the streets of Nadia, telling everyone, chant Hare Krishna, Radha Krishna bol, Hari bol. They're the fathers. Hari bol. They're the fathers of this Sankirtan movement. Two of them. Pitaro.
Ajanalambita bhuto kanakavadato sankirtanaya kapitaro kamalaya taksho. Kamala we know means lotus. And aksha means eyes. Kamalaya taksho. Both of them have eyes just like lotus petals. You see the beautiful eyes of Sri Sri Gauranitai, just like lotus petals. Kamalaya taksho. Visvambaro. Not Visvambar, but Visvambaro. Both of them are the maintainers of this universe. Because you know Lord Chaitanya, he's Krishna himself, the original maintainer of the universe. But Lord Nityananda, as we'll learn, he's also the sustaining in his form as an Anantashesh. He's maintaining all the universes on top of his heads. So he's also the maintainer, Vishvambaro. So Vishvambaro, both of them are the maintainers of this universe. Vishvambaro, Dvijabaro. Dvija. Dvi we can figure out means two, and Ja, Janmastami, Janma. We take one birth from our mother and father, that even bird, bee, animal, cat, dog, everybody has. But when we take initiation from the spiritual master, that is Dvija, that is second birth. Brahman means two births. That is the most important birth. So Brahman, they're Dvija Bara, not Dvija Bara. Dvija Baro, both of them are the best of the Brahmins. Because we know Lord Chaitanya, his father's name was Jagannath Mishra. Mishra means Brahman. And Nityananda Prabhu's father's name was Harai Pandit, also Brahman. They're the best of the Brahmins. Ajana lambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaya kapitaro kamalaya taksho visvambaro dvijabaro juga dharma palo. Palna means to protect, to nourish, to increase, to serve. So these two boys, we've heard, they were Gopals. Lord Chaitanya is none other than Lord Gopal. Balaram Hoilo Nitai, that Nitai, he's none other than Balaram. Both of them before, they were Gopals. But in this incarnation, Juga Dharma Pal, they're Yuga Dharma Pals. Before they were Gopals, now they're Yuga Dharma Pals. They're nourishing, protecting, increasing, spreading this Yuga Dharma Palo, both of them, Palo. Bande Jagat Priyakaro. And they're the Priyakaro, not Priyakar, but Priyakaro. Both of them are the well-wishers of this universe. Jagat Priyakaro. They've introduced such a simple Sankirtan process. Anybody can take part. Just like Maharaj was so nicely describing. And I also saw, I just came from Kenya. So in the one lecture we were doing Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Sham Jai Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham. And I saw these guys, they were boogalooing like anything. Hey Dinamandu, you do nice kirtan, we like your kirtan. Even the most fallen take part in this Sankirtan movement. Even people who don't want, like I gave so many times the example. Vishnujan Maharaj was doing his festival. He had a big bus and he'd travel around and make festivals in different cities. They would fold out the stage and the sound system, the prasad cart and everything. So this festival was going on in one city. One gentleman was coming by every day, one businessman. And I just happened to be there one day. He stopped me. He said, every day you guys are here chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes. Tusti Krishnamati ki jai. So, and every time I go home and I try to take rest, and only thing going on in my mind, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I was envious. I wish when I went to bed at night, Hare Krishna would come in my mind. Even they don't want spiritual life. This is how Priya Karo, the well-wishers, they're so kind. Huh? Giving the Sankirtan movement. Bande Jagata Priyakaro Karuna Avataro. Not avatar, avatar, both of them are incarnations of Karuna, compassion. They're so compassionate. Maharaj gave the example of Jagai and Madai. Topmost sinners, they crashed Chitragupta's hard drive, trying to keep track of their sinful activities. But still they were delivered. Mahaprabhu only made one condition: you stop all this nonsense, no more sin. And he embraced them. Then he told, now you bring them to Srivasa's house tonight. Before, by seeing these two, people would run to the Ganga to take bath. But I will make them such devotees that people will think by seeing them we have taken bath in Ganga. So they came to Srivasangan in the night. Kirtan was going on. Jagai and Madai were rolling on the ground, pulling their hairs out. Dancing and singing all the Asta Sattviki bhavs, shaking, tears, everything trembling, all the different bhavs were manifest within their bodies. And Mahaprabhu says, see now, I have finished your sinful life. Whatever millions of sins you have done, I have taken on my body. And Mahaprabhu manifested a blackish body. We know Mahaprabhu's golden, but he manifested a blackish body. They're the incarnations of karuna, compassion on the most fallen souls. Bande Jagata Priyakaro Karuna Avataro. Of course, we know that one nice verse, Ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhe Kripa Bolokana Koro Ami Bari Duki. That, oh Lord Nityananda, Ami Baro Duki, I'm always very unhappy. Because we're stuck here in this material world, so many problems are there. Now, myself and all my god brothers, we've entered the youth of old age. Now all the different problems are coming. We have to sit in chair. We can't sit on. I was always very proud of sitting on the floor, and I have to sit in this chair. So many problems are there. Oh, Nityananda, I'm always dukhi. So this material world is just full of problems. Premananda Sukhi, but you are Nityananda, you're always in this prem, Ananda of prem. Premananda, Kripa Bolokana Koro, Ami Baro Dukhi. You just give me some happiness. You're always in bliss. I'm very miserable in this material world. So, although some of this may be repetition, but still, a jewel, when you see it, sometimes it sparkles one way, sometimes it sparkles in another way. So, before we discuss the birth of and pastimes of Lord Nityananda, we should begin with a little tattva. We can understand exactly who is our Lord Nityananda, because these verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita are very important. I have described the glory of Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now in 5 verses, I will describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. Oops. Sarva Arvatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tahara Dvitiya Deha Sri Balaram. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. The very first expansion of Krishna is Lord Balaram. All the other expansions flow from Balaram. That we'll see in the next verses. Eka Iswarupa Donhe Bina Matrakaya Adhyakaya Vyuha Krishna Lila Rasahaya. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. These two are one and the same. Just we see Baldao, he's whitish in complexion. There's a nice verse, Shankha Kunindu Swairanga Baladev. Shankha, we know conch shell is white. Kunda, just like now in this winter time, we're getting these white jasmines. It's called kunda. We see these nice garlands they have every day. Shankha Kuninda. Indu means the moon. Shankha Kunindu. Swet. Sweta means white. Anga means limb. So Krishna is blackish, but Balaram is whitish. Otherwise, they're exactly the same. They have different things in their hands. Krishna's holding his flute. Balaram's got his plow. Say Krishna Navadvipa Sri Chaitanya Chandra, say Balaram Sange Sri Nitya Nanda. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. So the very first expansion of Krishna, of all the expansions, all the avatars, that is Lord Balaram. That same Balaram is Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Just try to understand. Sankarshana Karana Toyo Sai, Garbo Daksha Sai Chai Payobda Sai, Shesasta Yasyamsa Kalasya Nitya, Nandakya Rama, Saranam Mamatsu Stu. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshan, Shesh Nag, and the Vishnus who lie in the Karna ocean, Garbha ocean, ocean of milk, are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. This is a verse from Swarup Damodar Goswami in his Karacha, his diary. That because Lord Balaram first he expands as Mahasankarshan, and Seshnag is also his expansion, whose soft body the Lord is resting. And then there's a Karana Dakshai Vishnu, Shiro Dakshai Vishnu, Garbo Dakshai Vishnu, all these three. So these 5 expansions, that is who Lord Nityananda is. Do not think of him ordinary person. This is how Chaitanya Charitamrita got written, because Miniketan Ramdas came to Krishnadas Kaviraj's house and began to glorify Nityananda, and Krishnadas Kaviraj's brother criticized him. He didn't accept Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda, just imagine the position. Sri Balaram Gosai Mula Sankarshan Pancharupadari Karina Krishna Sevan. Lord Balaram is original Sankarshan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. Anyway, there's so many wonderful verses here in this 5th chapter describing the position of Lord Nityananda. He's none other than Balaram. And Balaram, we know, is Guru Tattva. So Lord Nityananda, he's also Guru Tattva. So today is this most auspicious day of the 13th day of the bright half of the month of Magh. We know this month of Magh. Every year in Allahabad there's Magh Mela, and every 12 years Kumbh Mela. So in this very auspicious month of Magh, on the 13th day of the bright half, Lord Nityananda appeared in this world. And he appeared in a place called Raradesh, where the Ganga doesn't flow, just to show that Lord Nityananda, he's the most merciful. In that place where the people don't get the facility to take daily bath in the Ganga, then he appeared in that place as the Ganga itself to purify the most fallen souls, Raradesh. In Raradesh there's nowadays a district called Birbhum. In the district Birbhum there's Virachandrapur, which was previously known as Eka Chakra. Now it's named after Lord Nityananda's son. In that Eka Chakra there lived a very pious Brahmin named Harai Pandit. And he had a very, very chaste and wonderful wife, Padmavati. And on this 13th day of the month of Magh, in all directions in ISKCON, there was auspiciousness. There was no troubles. Everyone was very peaceful. All auspicious signs appeared. At that time, that Lord Balaram, we just imagine, who expands as Karanadakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, that same Supreme Personality of Godhead, he made his appearance in the home of Harai Pandit. Everybody in the village was joyful. Everyone came to see the wonderful child. Nobody could imagine his beauty. He was so beautiful. And he began to grow. As he grew, everyone, love for him grew. With each passing day, their love for him grew. And his childhood, his childhood was very interesting. We spend our time playing useless games like cricket and baseball and football. Lord Nityananda and his friends, they would imitate the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Sometimes one boy became Bhumi and came before Lord Brahma and the demigods, and they went to the river pretending it to be the ocean of milk. And one boy hiding in the bushes made a voice that very soon I will appear to relieve the burden of the earth. Then they made a jail cell, and the Lord appeared in the jail cell before Devaki and Vasudeva. And then they imitated the pastime of carrying him across the Jamuna and switching with the child of Mother Yasoda. And then another time they played the pastime of Putana. Another time they made a cart, Shakata, and they manifested the pastime of Shakatasura. In this way, all the residents of ISKCON were astounded. Where does little Nitai get all these pastimes? He would just smile and say, these are all my pastimes. Where has he learned all these things? Nobody told him these stories. By the illusory potency of the Lord, no one could recognize who they were. Another time they got so many branches with leaves and pretended it was a big snake. And one boy jumped in the water, became unconscious. Then Nitai another boy came and glanced on him. Another boy danced on top of the branches, like Krishna dancing on Kaliya. This way they manifested so many wonderful pastimes. All the different pastimes they manifested. Even sometimes they would manifest Ram Lila. Lord Nityananda, in the form of Lakshman, he told Parasuram, you get out of here, don't bother us, because they broke the bow of Shiva in the wedding. And they performed so many pastimes of Lord Ram also. One time, the boys pretended to be wandering in the forest, and Nitai as Lakshman found them. What are you monkeys doing here? They said, we're living in fear of Bali. We have come to take shelter of Lord Ram. Please take us to his lotus feet. And he took those monkeys to Lord Ram. Another time, they anointed, one boy became a Bhishan, and Lord Ram anointed him as the king of Lanka. In this way, they performed the battle of Lanka. Finally, at one time, Ravan, he said, all right, Lakshman, now I'll show you. Let's see if you can, now I will defeat you with my Shakti Shela. And he put that arrow to his bow and he shot it. And Lord Nitai, in the form of Lakshman, he fell down to the ground unconscious. Everybody came running, and they began to shout, but he didn't revive. And seeing him, they appeared to be without any life even. There was no life symptoms. Everyone began to cry. Then the village heard Harai Pandit and Padmavati. They came running. They began to cry. The whole village came and they were crying, and everybody was crying and crying. They couldn't revive Nitai. Then one boy said, oh, we forgot. Lord Nitai told us that when he falls unconscious, that boy who's playing Hanuman, he has to go to the Gandhamadana mountain range and bring the medicine. Where's Hanuman? Where's Hanuman? Oh, that boy who's playing Hanuman. He came out of his lamentation. Oh, yes. Then he He ran off to get the medicine from Gandhamadana. Another boy in the form of renunciation stopped him and said, "Where are you going so fast? You stay here in my ashram and rest." He says, "No, you haven't heard. Lakshman's been hit by the Shakti Shela. I have to go to the Gandhamadana mountain range and bring the medicine." "Well, at least you take your bath and take some food and then you continue your journey." So then Nitai, in the form of Lakshman, he agreed. As soon as he entered into the lake, one boy in the lake grabbed him by his leg like a crocodile. And there was a big fight, and he dragged that crocodile. The crocodile tried to drag Nitai into the water. Nitai dragged him out and defeated that crocodile. And when he returned to the ashram, there was a big demon there. "Ha! You defeated the crocodile. Now you try to defeat me. Your Ravan is just a dog. I don't care about him. I will finish you off." And they began to pull each other's hair, and they had a big fight, and very easily he defeated that demon. Then he went to the Gandhamadana mountain range, and some boys in the form of Gandharas began to fight with him, very easily defeated them. He brought back that mountain. Then one boy, playing the part of the Vaidya, he took that medicine, and meditating on Lord Ram, he put the medicine before the nose of Nitai in the Lakshman. Then Lakshman immediately revived. And all the village was so happy. Said, "Oh," and they all exclaimed, "Oh, Nitai, where have you learned all these pastimes?" And Nitai just smiled. "These are all my pastimes." Like this, he spent his childhood engaging always in Krishna and Ram's pastimes. Finally, he decided within his mind that he wanted to leave home. But it was impossible, being bound by the ropes of love of Harai Pandit and Padmavati. It was impossible for him to leave. So one day, a strange mendicant appeared in Ekachakra. And Harai Pandit, being very pious, invited him to his house and fed him very nicely. And after he rested, that Brahmin came before Harai Pandit and said, "I have one favor." "Yes, whatever you want, I'm ready to give." And he said, "I'm traveling to different places. I have no Brahmin boy to assist me. So please let me take your Nitai. I will protect him more than my own life, and he will get chance to see all the holy places and learn so many things." Harai Pandit was struck like a thunderbolt. He began to remember the pastime of Dasarath. And he thought, what should I do? Nitai is my life. If I give up my life, I'll die. But on the other hand, if I refuse the offer of this Brahmin, this sadhu, then my life will be ruined. What should I do? What should I do? He consulted with Padmavati. And the chaste Padmavati said, "My Lord, whatever you think is best, you do." So then, with a heavy heart, he turned over Nitai to that mendicant. And as they left the village, Harai Pandit fell unconscious. For 3 months, people thought he was completely mad. He didn't eat any grain even for 3 months. Even rocks and wood began to melt, hearing the lamentation of Harai Pandit. So meanwhile, Nitai with this mendicant, they visited so many places. That would take forever. We'll be here all day if we discuss all the places, even places I never heard of, they visited. And took bath in all these different places. And they also visited Yodhya, where immediately Nitai took on the mood of Lakshman, of seeing his old living place in Ayodhya, seeing the river Sarayu, and everywhere they went, whenever Nitai would see cows, he'd immediately go and just take milk straight from the udder of the cows. They visited Mathura, Vrindavan. He remembered all of his pastimes here. Then they went to so many places. At some point in their travels, Nitai separated from that Brahman and began to wander here and there. He came to the place where a great sadhu was sitting. From a distance, as soon as that sadhu saw Nitai, he understood this is his long-lost friend. That was none other than Madhavinda Puri. When Nitai and Madhavinda Puri saw each other, their hearts melted. They embraced each other, began to roll on the ground and cry. All the disciples were frightened. What has happened to our Guru? What has happened to our Guru? Seeing the disturbance of the disciples, both of them tried to calm themselves down. And they spent many days, day and night, without even resting or taking food, discussing topics of Krishna. Lord Nityananda was so pleased to meet. That time also Ishwar Puri was amongst the disciples. Lord Nityananda, they spent many days together discussing, then they split up again. Lord Nityananda went to other places of pilgrimage. Finally he came to Braj. In Braj he used to play, even though he was a grown man, he would play. By this time he was grown up. He would play with all the cowherd boys. He would always drink the milk from the cows, straight from the udder. And he was always wandering around. But he was waiting. Because when my Lord Gauranga will manifest himself, then I will go there to Navadvip. But now he's hiding himself. Then finally he decided, he was sitting in Radhakund. It's a very beautiful place, Nityananda Petak. Sitting in that place, he saw that now they were manifesting, the Mahaprakash pastimes had manifested in Navadvip. Lord Chaitanya was revealing himself. He says, now I will go to Navadvip. And he went to Navadvip and he stayed in the house of Nandanacharya. And at that time, Lord Chaitanya told everybody that last night I had a dream. In that dream, a great, strong personality, a whitish hue, riding a huge chariot. He had one golden earring in his left ear and he was carrying a pillar. And he stopped outside my house. And with a voice like the roaring of thunder, he says, is this the house of Nimai Pandit? Is this the house of Nimai Pandit? Is this the house of Nimai Pandit? By this dream I can understand that a great personality has entered Navadvip. Now you go and find him. And all the devotees, they've spent 9 hours. They went all, scoured the whole of Nadia for 9 hours. Every ashram, every guest house, every Brahmin's house. They couldn't find anybody after 9 hours of searching. Because Lord Nityananda, he's very confidential. Without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we can't understand him. Lord Chaitanya wanted to show Lord Nityananda is very confidential. So then Lord Nimai, he smiled. He said, come with me. And he began walking. He would take 2 steps forward and 1 back, and there he was walking like a lion sometimes. He called out to Murari Gupta, come, we're going to see my brother. You follow us. And they finally came to Nandanacharya's house. And that portion is so beautiful. I can't do it justice, so. Senior moment. On the way, Lord Chaitanya called, Murari, Murari, have you not seen Avadut Nityananda? Saying this, he began to smile. He's now staying at Nandanacharya's house. Come with me, we're going there. I'm telling you the truth. While walking, the Lord repeatedly chanted, Hari, Hari! Hari, Hari! His whole body shivered, his voice choked. 5 or 7 lines of tears flowed from his eyes. The lustrous golden Lord was unable to walk. Sometimes he leaped ahead up to 5 steps like a powerful lion, and sometimes looked behind like a mad elephant. Out of ecstasy, the Lord would make a loud noise again and again, which is as grave as the noise of a cloud. In this way, Sri Gaur Sundar finally reached the house of Nandanacharya along with his associates. Everyone saw a jewel-like personality sitting in the house of Nandanacharya. His effulgence was equal to that of millions of suns. He was sitting in his own mood, deeply absorbed in ecstatic meditation. He was smiling all the time. Aware that Lord Nityananda was in deep trance of pure devotion, Lord Vishwambar and associates offered obeisances. Everyone stood aside with awe and reverence. No one said a word. They simply stared at him. The Lord was present. The form of Visvambara was as beautiful as that of a cupid. He wore an attractive dress and a flower garland. Sandalwood paste was smeared on his forehead. The luster of gold appeared most insignificant before the body of the Lord. Even the mood god hankers to see his enchanting face. The Lord's teeth resembled a set of pearls, and seeing his attractive hair, one becomes unconscious. Seeing the two broad pink eyes, one wonders, are there any more lotus flowers? His two long hands stretched up to his knees. A fine thin Brahman thread beautified his broad chest. His forehead was wonderfully decorated with marks of tilak, and his body looked enchanting even without any ornaments. His fingernails defeat the beauty of millions of jewels. His attractive smile is nectar. Lord Visvambara stood in front of Lord Nityananda, who at once recognized the Lord of his heart. Lord Nityananda was stunned out of joy. He stared at Lord Visvambara without blinking his eyes. He desired to lick Visvambara with his tongue and drink his beauty through his eyes. Nityananda desired to embrace Visvambara and with his hands and smelling with his nose. Lord Nityananda simply became stunned. Everyone was so astonished that he did not speak or move. Lord Gauranga, the life and soul of everyone, beheld the situation and began to invent ways to reveal Lord Nityananda. With a gesture, the Lord instructed Srivas to recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Understanding the Lord's intention, Srivas Pandit at once recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying Krishna's attractive form. Barhapitam natavaravu karniyo karnikaram bibrad vasaha karnika kapisham vajayanti chamalam randram benu adara sudaya purayan gopa vrindar vrindaranya svarakramanam pravisha gita kirti. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, blue karnika flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and the Vaijayanti garland, Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavan. Beautifying it with the marks of his footprints, he filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:21, 5. Hearing this verse, Lord Nityananda fell to the ground unconscious. Out of great ecstasy, Lord Nityananda remained inert as Lord Chaitanya told Srivas to continue. Awakening after a short while, Lord Nityananda began to cry. Repeatedly hearing the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Nityananda became maddened. He roared like a lion and shook the whole universe. He jumped in the air so forcefully that everyone thought all his bones would break to pieces. What to speak of others? Even the Vaishnavas became afraid. They all prayed, "Oh Krishna, please save him! Oh Krishna, please save him! Oh Krishna, please save him! Oh Krishna!" Lord Nityananda rolled on the ground and his body became wet with tears. Seeing the attractive form of Lord Visvambara, Lord Nityananda breathed heavily. Sometimes he would laugh loudly, and sometimes he felt great happiness within his heart. Sometimes he danced, sometimes he clapped his hands, sometimes he jumped forcefully. A golden effulgence shone down from the beautiful body of Lord Nityananda. Brightly shining ornaments decorated his charming bodily limbs. Yellow cloth adorned his waist, and he wore a turban decorated with champaka flowers on his head. Tinkling ankle bells sounded as he walked. Tears filled his deer-like eyes. His enchanting smile appeared as if lightning had fallen down on the earth. His captivating smile disturbed the chastity of women. His grave voice resembled the sound of a cloud. His roaring sound subdued the mad elephant in the form of Kali. He walked like an intoxicated elephant. Tears of love constantly flowed from his smiling face. Overflooded with love of God, Lord Nityananda's body showed symptoms of ecstatic love, such as shivering, standing of the hair on end, and perspiration. He held a golden stick in his hand as he defeated the pride of Kali. His lotus-like palms were simply wonderful. He was decorated with armlets, bangles, necklaces, bracelets, and ankle bells. His 2 earrings were as brilliant as the sun. He rolled on the ground. Sometimes he stood up saying, "Please hold me." Then he would ask everyone, "Where is that coward boy Kanai?" Sometimes he uttered strange words, and sometimes he cried or laughed. Sometimes he asked for honey, and sometimes he praised his convert Revati. Sometimes he hopped. Sometimes he said one thing, the next moment something else. No one could understand what he said. The fragrance of his bodily limbs caused all the young girls and married women to leave their houses without hesitation. Lord Nityananda fell on the ground to offer obeisance to Lord Visvambara and humbly offered prayers with his sweet words. Lord Nityananda fell at the lotus feet of his Lord. Both of them tried to catch each other's feet. The lords embraced each other and cried. Lord Nityananda looked at Visvambara's face and smiling said, "Where were you? I have searched the entire world, but I could not get any news of you. Finally, I heard that the son of Nanda Maharaj is living in Navadvip in Gaudadesh, hiding his real identity. I have come here to catch this thief. Today I have caught you. How will you escape?" Saying this, Lord Nityananda began to laugh, cry, and dance. Lord Gauranga also danced with Nityananda. Seeing Lord Nityananda's ecstatic madness for Krishna, Gaurachandra cried along with all the Vaishnavas. The happiness of Nityananda increased without limit. Although everyone tried to pacify him, they were unable. When all the devotees failed to calm him, Visvambara personally embraced him. As soon as Visvambara embraced him, Lord Nityananda surrendered his life to Lord Visvambara and became still. Lord Nityananda offered his life to him, to whom it belongs, and thus remained inert in the lap of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Nityananda floated in the water of Lord Chaitanya's love, just as Lakshman lay in the lap of Lord Ramachandra being hit by the Shakti weapon of Ravan. Lord Nityananda swooned, pierced by the arrows of love and devotion. Gaurachandra cried with Nityananda in his lap. Both felt undescribable happiness. Their love and affection for each other is like that of Ram and Lakshman. There is no other example of affection seen between Gaurachandra and Nityananda except this. After a while, Lord Nityananda revived. All the devotees began to chant, "Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari." Seeing Lord Nityananda on the lap of Visvambara, Gadadhar smiled and thought, "This is contradictory. Lord Ananta always carries Visvambara on his lap. Today his pride has been smashed in the lap of the Lord." Gadadhar Pandit knows the influence of Lord Nityananda, and Nityananda knows the heart of Gadadhar. Seeing Nityananda, the hearts of all the devotees filled with ecstasy, Nityananda and Gaurachandra simply stared at one another without uttering a word. Tears incessantly flowed down from their eyes. Seeing each other stunned both of them. The tears from their eyes flooded the earth. Lord Visvambara said, "Today is a very auspicious day for me. I have seen with my own eyes pure devotional symptoms that are the essence of the 4 Vedas. This shivering, flowing of tears, loud shouting are not possible for anyone except one who is empowered by the Lord. If one personally sees this pure devotional service, Krishna will never reject him. I am firmly convinced that you are the full manifestation of the Lord's energy. By worshipping you, a living entity achieves devotion to Lord Krishna. You can purify the 14 worlds. Your qualities are inconceivable, unfathomable, and confidential. There is no one existing who can defy you. You are the form of love of Krishna, the treasury of devotional service. If anyone meets you even for a moment, he will be delivered, even if he committed millions of sins. I think Krishna has a desire to deliver me. That is why he brought you to me. By huge fortune, I have seen your lotus feet. By worshipping you, I will most surely get the treasure of love of Krishna." Fully absorbed, the most enchanting Lord Gauranga relentlessly offered prayers to Lord Nityananda. There were so many talks between Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, but most of them done were gestures. Lord Chaitanya said, "I am afraid to ask you, where are you from?" The mentality of Nityananda was very childish, and he was overwhelmed with intense ecstasy. He spoke like a restless boy. Lord Nityananda knew the cause for the appearance of his Lord. He thus folded his hands and spoke very humbly. Hearing the words of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda felt shy. Therefore he began to reveal his real identity. Lord Nityananda said, I have traveled to many holy places. I have also seen in all the holy places where Krishna did his pastimes. I saw only the holy places, but could not find Krishna there. I asked some exalted personality, why do I see only thorns? The places of pastimes are all empty and covered. Can you tell me where Krishna went? He told me that Krishna has gone to Bengal. Recently he was at Gaya, but now he has returned to Navadvip. I have heard that joyous Sankirtan of the holy names is being done in Nadia. Some people say that Lord Narayan has appeared there. I have heard also that Nadia is famous for the deliverance of fallen souls. So being most sinful as I am, I have come here. In this way, Lord Chaitanya revealed to the devotees Lord Nityananda. And Vrindavan Das Thakur says, anybody who hears the meeting of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda at Nandanacharya's house, he will be delivered from this material world and he will achieve love of Godhead. So today we're honoring that day of the appearance of that same merciful Lord Nityananda. And we know, as we heard after meeting Lord Nityananda, then he began the Sankirtan movement. Suno suno Nityananda suno Haridas Sarvatra Prachar Sarvatra Moragya Kara Prakash Prati Gari Gari Giya Gele E Siksha Bolo Krishna Bhadra Krishna Koro Krishna Siksha. Suno suno Nityananda suno Haridas. Listen Nityananda, listen Haridas. Listen Haridas. Go to everyone and give them my order, reveal my order to them. Go to every house and tell them, Bolo Krishna, Krishna. Koro, Bolo Krishna, Bhadra Krishna, Koro Krishna Siksha. Then he told something very interesting. Every night you come and tell me of the results of your preaching. Just like we see, Prabhupada followed, because he was the full manifestation of Lord Nityananda's mercy. He followed this exactly. We saw in the later pastimes of Prabhupada, he said, only solace is hearing these Sankirtan results. So just like Lord Chaitanya, he sent them out, Nityananda and Haridas, you go and preach, and when you return, tell me the results. So Prabhupada was just like that. He was the full manifestation of Lord Nityananda's mercy. Because Lord Nityananda, as we heard, how he delivered the most fallen souls. We can't imagine the unlimited mercy of Lord Nityananda. Therefore, it is impossible to understand the unlimited mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Even, I was reading that, who was it? Sridhar Maharaj, he said, he is the Avesh incarnation of Lord Nityananda. Prabhupada, definitely he's the full manifestation of Lord Nityananda's incredible mercy. Just like, I know there's one story, it's not in any of the memories, because I don't know where the devotee is, but I was sent to LA to get initiated in this month of Magh, on the 4th day of the dark half of the month of Magh. I received initiation from Prabhupada. But when I came to LA, I met one devotee named Mahapurush, who was from the 26th Avenue group. So he told me an amazing story about the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that we can understand he was fully the manifestation of Lord Nityananda, because nobody can be merciful like this. Because he knew that behind, at 26th Avenue, Prabhupada has his apartment behind there, that you could go there in the noontime and get free food. So days of the hippies, that was a big deal. Free food, oh great. So sometimes he would go there for lunch, and there was very interesting lunch. These round little breads called chapatis, and some spicy vegetable preparation called sabji, and the spiced dal and rice. So one day he went there, And Prabhupada was sitting with them, and he was directing the serving. Prabhupada was sitting with all these crazy people and directing, give him some more rice, give him some more dal, like that. And it was just so nice. Prabhupada sitting there, everyone taking prasad. So one day he just kept sitting, and everybody got up. These were just hippies, so they'd just take their plate, throw it in the sink, not even wash their hands after eating, just throw the plate in the sink and walk out the door. And he was just sitting there and suddenly realized everybody's gone. There's just me and Prabhupada sitting here. And he looked around, he saw those dirty plates in the sink, he saw the dirty pots. He said, well, somehow these pots get cleaned every day. Somehow these plates get cleaned every day. And I'm not usually here. There's only one other person in the room who could be doing this. Can you imagine? For these crazy hippies, Prabhupada was cooking for them, cleaning up after them, cleaning their plates, cleaning the pots to cook, and cooking for these people. Just imagine the mercy of Prabhupada. Nowadays, we saw these type of people come to the Sunday feast. We'll give them a plate. Can you go around back, get out of sight? We don't want to disturb our guests. But Prabhupada was cooking for these people, just to give them the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So then he thought, gee, maybe I should help him, So he started taking the plates out of the sink and washing them. And Prabhupada was sitting there, and Prabhupada smiled. And he said, I was just praying to Krishna to send someone to kindly help me. He said, I was just praying to Krishna that he would send someone to kindly help me. This is the unlimited mercy of Srila Prabhupada for these crazy people. Although they were crazy, it's just like when what was Daksha's daughter's name? Sati, all right. When she says to her father that you are such a person, or that, first he says, my husband, Lord Shiva, in a huge quantity of bad qualities, he finds out one quality and magnifies it. But you're such a person, in a huge quantity of good qualities, you find out one bad quality and magnify that. So I always think this verse describes Srila Prabhupada. We were heaps of bad qualities. Even more than Jagai Madai, we crashed that Chitragupta's hard drive completely. But we had this desire to know what life was all about. We were searching for the truth. And all these heaps of bad qualities, we were taking drugs and free love and all this stuff. But ultimately our goal was we want to know what life is all about. What is the truth? And Prabhupada saw that tiny little spark underneath all this hairs all over the place and weird dresses and weird earrings and all kinds of crazy stuff. Prabhupada saw this little spark of desire to know the truth, and Prabhupada took that tiny quality amongst all those bad qualities and fanned it. Prabhupada is the full manifestation of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So on this holy day of Lord Nityananda's appearance, we can fall down at the very soft and wonderful lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and we can fall at the very soft and lotus feet of Lord Nitai and beg for their mercy. Jai Nitai! Jai Nitai! And since Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, tomorrow there's a place in Vrindavan called Sringarvat where Lord Nityananda stay. They have beautiful Gaur-Nitai deities there. So tomorrow we'll meet at Sringarvat after breakfast prasadam, and we'll join with all the other Vaishnavas and do Nagar Sankirtan in the holy Nagar of Vrindavan, then sit at the feet of Lord Nityananda and take a feast. Everybody's invited to come. You just ask, right after breakfast prasadam, you make your way by 10:30 or so, Sankirtan will start. And don't eat much because their feast will be around 12:30 or 1, so don't take much breakfast. Come there with your chanting shoes, your dancing heart, and chanting tongue. And we'll glorify Lord Nityananda's mercy. You just tell the rickshaw wala Sringar, but everybody knows. And just be there. Or be square. Jai Nitai!